Two more dead humpback whales, massive, beautiful creatures, spotted floating off the coasts of New York and New Jersey this week. That's 12 dead whales this year and counting, according to NOAA, the agency calling this an unusual mortality event. And of course, other than that, have no interest in finding out why it's happening. And I think you know why. In New Jersey, Democrat Governor Phil Murphy ordered the ramping up of the state's reliance on offshore wind to transition to 100% clean energy. But according to Politico, in January, wind farms are what's killing all these whales. The deaths are happening as pre-construction work ramps up on offshore wind farms, which are a key part of the nation and New Jersey's climate change strategy. Patrick Moore, the co-founder of Greenpeace, a man we've had on this program before, telling the New York Post he believes sonar systems used by ships that are surveying the ocean floor for these projects are harming the whales as well. The federal government, of course, is rejecting a link between the two because controlling us and expanding government rapidly with a ridiculous climate agenda is far more important than protecting some whale. Bonnie Brady is the executive director of the Long Island Commercial Fishing Association, and she's back with us. And thanks for coming back on, Bonnie. It's good to see you again. Is there any doubt in your mind that there is a link here? Because the government says there's no link at all.
Hi, first of all, thank you for having me, Rob. Is there a doubt in my mind? I believe that this needs to be investigated. I've said it before. We believe the issue is what they refer to as the level B harassment, which is only supposed to slightly upset the whale and move it off of a food source or stop it from communicating, when one of the specific items that it can be is temporary temporal shifts in hearing, which is temporary deafness. So the bottom line is, since 2016, since we started as a fishing association screaming about these survey boats doing this work, we know it affects fish in the area. We know that fishermen who have had totally fine fishing, the boats come through, suddenly the fish beat feet, and that's when the whales started showing up. So is it a huge jump? No, but we need a moratorium to have the investigation to prove it.
Is there any other outrage? You know, I mean, there's a lot of environmental groups that make noise about everything that happens to animals. Are you hearing that, or is there too much of a is there too much control by the Democrat Party and the climate agenda for them to make any noise on this?
Well, I can't speak to them individually. I do know that a group called Save Right Whale Coalition had come out with a paper talking about possible compromisation of science for several NGOs that have taken funding from a variety of offshore wind groups. I mean, we have the whale stranding group that's on Long Island. The head of the board is apparently an active lobbyist for Equinor. So, you know, there's all kinds of things. I do know one group that has always been true to their beliefs and their tenets has been Cindy Ziff of Clean Ocean Action. I've known her since the 90s when needles were washing up on beaches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She was the the main writer of the letter that we sent.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. I'm completely out of time, but I am glad to hear that at least there are some people sticking up for this, because the correlation seems obvious, and the fact that the government has no interest whatsoever in investigating it is frightening, but also not surprising when you think about the agendas that are in Washington right now. Bonnie, thank you so much for coming on again. We do appreciate it, and we'll update this story again. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Coming up here after the